window as I drive, so I'm not really looking much through the viewfinder. I'm just sort of aiming the camera. And I did notice that it's pretty good clouds up over the mountain this morning, so I don't know how good of pictures I'll get from the outside up there. I hope it's not raining when I get there. See you up there. It's pretty rough going here, but I'm going up the hill. Figured I better turn that radio off. Couldn't hear myself talking. This is four-wheel drive climbing this hill. It's so rocky. We'll be going on up that next grade over there, straight ahead. This is the route going to the cave up through the ski run. We're actually on one of the main ski trails right here. This little section right here is a section that they just re-bulldozed and graded and reseeded this summer. And here we're coming out on the level right in front of the cave. The cave is right there on the left, straight in the center of the picture now. And this is where I usually turn around and park. Okay, I've only got about 25 minutes to service the cave, so I'm going to have to kind of hustle with this. This is the path down to it. There's the metal. Look back where I parked the truck on the ski run. This is one of the main trails. Now I go through all these trees and bushes right here. And there's the door to the cave and the culvert, which I'm going to have to open up now. Now we have the door open. And we're getting ready to go down into the cave. You can see the lights on down there. We have to duck low to get into the entrance here. If I look to the left, I can't see a whole lot. The power panel is over there in the corner. Generator is hiding right there behind that rock. I don't know if zooming in on it will give me more light on it or not. I guess not. And then the fuel tank is under this black cover right here. And now we go on down. In order for me to not fall on this slick, muddy footing, I can't look through the viewfinder, so I just have to hold the camera and point it in the general direction I'm going. Once I get down here where I can stand up, it's a little better. I can now, a few seconds here, now I can stand up and look through the viewfinder to make sure I'm at least looking at something going down here. This is the walkway going down. That's the building down at the bottom. Sort of looking through it on and off, so I hope I'm keeping it generally in the right direction here. That's the battery rack on the front left and front right corners. This one over here is the 24-volt system. That's the 6-volt systems. This is the door. Power going in. We'll go around behind the building later. Right now I've got to disconnect the batteries from series connection and then go in and start setting up the station. That's the batteries. I just took the jumpers off the right-hand set. They'll be put on the left-hand set for next week. Now I'm going to go in the door. Turn the light on. If I can find the switch. Not used to doing this in the dark or holding a camera. This is to the right. It's a workbench. You can hear the registers counting in the background. These are the scintillators, and I'm as far away as I can get. Salt trays there in the middle. That's the register panel over there that you hear counting. The camera, all the electronics boxes, and the clock. This box right here is the clock. See if I can get a picture of the photo panel. Those are registers counting in there, and the clock, panel clock, temperature gauge and barometer. It's actually an old altimeter that we use for a barometer. Now I better service the station. Okay, everything is finished and it's serviced, and I'm waiting on the picture, and I got about 2 or 3 minutes. And I've turned on the bright light so so that you can get a little better picture of what's here. The salt trays. Now these are the bottom simulators, which you couldn't see very well in with just the dim light. That's the high voltage distribution box. Kick back around. This time I'll go all the way around. I'll show you that's our clock and our bulletin board. Now here's the door where I came in, and then there's the stuff over to the right. And over there we include, under the edge of the counter here, there's the high voltage power supply. And then it's fed by the 24 volt battery system, which is fed from this junction box. And this is its battery charger and meter monitor. And that's a dropout relay. So when the 110 volt shuts off, it drops the batteries off the charger. Okay, now we've come out of the building. That's looking up toward the entrance. We'll take a wander over here to the left and go around the back of the building. See if there's much of anything we can see around there. I hope this doesn't turn out like those movies that you see all the time that are always in the dark. Although that looks pretty dark back there. Pile of dirt here, and this is the ditch where the water runs down into the back of the cave. And that's essentially about all there is to it. I'll go get a flashlight and we'll try looking down in there with the flashlight. Okay, there's the flashlight beam. I don't know how much of the cave you can see, but it curves, it goes back down, and there's a hole way back there at the end where people have sort of dug it out. I'll telephoto, although I'm not sure there's probably just isn't enough light to see much. You can see a little bit. That's the ceiling. Those are the sides, and then that's that little tunnel that people have dug trying to see back down in there. Of course, you can't get very far. It goes about another 20 feet. Then it's so small you can't crawl through it anyway. That's about all there is to it. Now we'll take our weekly hike back on up to the entrance. Going this way may be even harder because this is uphill all the way. Walking up through here, this is I guess you could call it a pathway, but there's not much path to it. All that noise you hear is me tripping and stumbling and kicking rocks over coming up this hillside. And you'll hear me starting to huff and puff. Takes the breath out of you going up this hill at this altitude. We're at about, the cave's at about 7,300 feet above sea level. So you can see it's quite a climb. It drops down probably 50 or 60 feet from here at the entrance down to the building. And here we are back in the world again. Hallelujah. Well, that's today's tour. Now I'll close her up. This is just looking up the east side of the hill, up over the cave. Here's the cave right here. And now I'm coming back around and back to the trail, if you can call it that, as I fight the jungle growth and come out of the wilderness into the bright and shining Sandia Peak ski run on this August 24th, 1988. Kind of hoping to see some deer up on the run today, but never did. So I guess we'll just head on back down. That's the road down. Same one we came up. Get one last quick picture down the mountain. Usually it's a beautiful view down through there. You can see the foothills of the San Pedro Mountains and almost clear on up to Santa Fe. But it's extremely hazy today. You saw the clouds coming up. I'm surprised they're above this, and they've somewhat lifted now. There's one dark one right there, but there's even a lot of blue sky around it, and then it gets blue on back over towards Albuquerque. And there's just a few broken clouds over here now. So it's changed drastically in the last half hour, 45 minutes or so. Hard to believe, I just had to defog the camera lens. It got so cold down in the cave that it fogged up out here in the moist air. So I had to start my defroster and put the camera in front of it to get the fog off the lens of the camera. Now we start down the hill. We're going down the same one we came up, only this is two-wheel drive territory since it's downhill all the way. Never have needed four-wheel drive going down. There's been times when it was real muddy or little snow on the ground and I left it in four-wheel drive, or left the hubs in case I was going to need it, but I've never really needed it going down the hill. We'll be going way down around that curve down there. So I'll shut it off till we get to that curve. Okay, we're at that curve. Starting to get rough here now. When I get down here on this big curve, it's going to get real rough, so I'll have to shut her down and put both hands on the wheel. I'll try to hold it until we get down to where you can see the bottom terminal of the ski area. But it gets pretty rough right here. I don't know how this is going to make you feel watching this movie. You may start bobbing around in the audience or something. Going around this corner. Maybe like one of those movies that you go to in California or wherever, or Florida. Everything's dark and all you can see is the things in front of the camera and you feel like you're there. So I kind of hope that gives you this effect, or this gives you that effect. I can't talk, drive, take pictures, and everything at once. Boy, Ona ought to see me now. She thinks I can't talk and do two things at the same time. She ought to see me right now. Okay, I'm going right straight through that road, all the way as far as it goes and down over the hill and around the corner. So we'll see you over there. Okay, I've come past all the buildings now. I'm over here at that little hill where the road disappeared in the viewfinder a minute ago. Almost out of the ski, or at least down to the ski area parking lot. Turn a corner sharp here. Never thought how interesting this would be to try to take pictures while you're driving. It'd be a lot easier if you were riding, but it's not impossible. That's their big cat that they use for doing the big lakes and ponds that they were making up on the mountainside. They do all their real heavy work with it here at the ski run. That's their grader. I hope these aren't too out of focus. And this is the ski area parking lot, and we will proceed from here on. 1989. I'm going to give a